You know, I had a whole talk written for today. And then I met Sandy and said, hey, what do you got? Send me some music that fits this topic. And it was like, I got to rewrite my whole talk. It says it all. Thank you, Sandy. What a gift you are. What a blessing that song was. And you ain't heard nothing yet. Wait till we get to the offering song. But again, as we started, I invite you to take your hand and place it upon your heart and to say with me, I am music. I am music. Think of, throughout the whole message, music as the great metaphor, the synonym for God, for life, for light, for love. Say it again together. I am music. And turn to somebody to your left and your right and say, you are music. And then with that beautiful view that you just took in, raise your hand high and let's say together, we are music. Today I want to tell you that there is a divine essence, a power, a song, a melody, a vibration, a goodness, and a spirit that is eternal. It is immortal, and it is living right at the center of you. Do you believe it? Do you know it? Do you visit it often, or is it just on Sunday morning that we visit it? It is a God essence, a God music that is involved in a perpetual state, a desire for expression. Music longs for expression. The essence and the spirit is longing for expression, longing for relationship, and longing for connection to itself. So when we say we are music, it is answering the call of the connection that is longing for itself. Cells within the body of God, finding their way home, coming together, looking into the eyes of God. And so one more time, look around the room and look into the eyes of God as you say, we are music together. We. This music vibrated each of us into existence. It vibrated you into existence, and that music is right now calling each and every one of us to a higher dimension, a higher vibration of being, and a higher vibration of experience. And here's the exciting part. We claim it for ourselves, but it's the same truth for all people. In temples, and synagogues, and mosques, and stone circles, or at home in bed still. Sandy and I were joking. She says, I really love getting up at the crack of noon. She sings in jazz clubs, and I think this is a little early for her, so good morning. It's the same truth for everybody, everywhere, no matter their belief, no matter the sound of the music, or even the dissonance that you find with them. It's all necessary. That song had some dissonance in it. Did you notice that? Because dissonance is important. We come together, and there might be dissonance in the room. I don't know, but we call it all holy. We call it all sacred. We call it all music, and we call it all God. We're all a part of a magnificent whole. Cells within the body of God, notes within the same symphony of creation. And like as a pianist, I have to use the piano, keys on the same piano. There's one piano, but each of us is a key. And you go to the piano and you hit one note, every other note on that keyboard is resonating with it. We don't hear it. We cannot hear it. Why is that? Because we're not listening for it. I was joking with the first service that it's always wonderful when we come and the Buddhist monks are chanting. And that's what we hear. But for the trained ear, the one that is listening for it, there are overtone upon overtones happening. And I used to always say, what am I hearing so high in the midst of... I'm hearing the sound of the angels. I'm hearing that which most people are missing on the planet, the music. The eternal music that connects us all. And if you go home and try it out, hit the note on the piano and then feel the other notes and the other strings vibrating in synergy and in connection. That's what we do here. That's what we are called to do here, is to listen to the music, our own and the music of the people around us, in our heart and in the hearts of those that gather in community. But it cannot stay in this room. It's the hearts of all people everywhere. So when you say we are music, it's not contained in this space or in this theology. It is universal. And it is far more expansive than anything we've ever known. Ours is to tune in. Ours is to listen for it. And listen for it especially when somebody shows up that feels a little dissonant. You know, I've played in a number of bands. I remember the moment when I went from the practice room, sitting in a boring, lonely practice room, and the first time I ever played in a band. It was amazing. wow, we're doing this together. And the experience was wonderful, connecting with the vibration. But when I had 3, 4, 5, and sometimes 100 other people playing the music, there's a moment. And anybody who's ever played music in a group will tell you there's a moment that every musician longs for, when it just hits. It can't be controlled, it can't be thought, but everybody in the band looks around and goes, ooh, something wonderful is happening. Something beautiful is happening. That's the moment we are looking for, searching for, and trying to create and recreate every time we come together. That moment, that epiphany, that epiphany and revelation that says, there is no separation. There's only one of us here. That's the music of God. That's the music of God that humanity has spent a long time trying to run away from. We're running towards that. And let me tell you, the best bands I ever played with, the best choirs I ever sang or directed, the best orchestras are the ones where people are listening to each other. Listening to each other. And as a tuba player in the orchestra, there were those that used to tell me that the flute was more important than the tuba. That's offensive to a tubist. The oboe is no more important than the cello. The double bass, no more important than the clarinet. It's all necessary. I remember the moment, the first time I went to hear one of my favorite old-time gospel groups, the Blind Boys of Alabama. God, I love them. And there was a bass singer in that group that he would sing and he'd almost eat the microphone. And the vibration in that concert hall was tremendous. And you could feel it. And it was so tremendous that when the concert was over and the musicians and the singers all went home and I was driving home in the car, I could still feel it. The music was present. It was tangible. It was in me. And I was listening for it even though the concert had long stopped. That's what I'm challenging you to do today. To listen for the music long after the concert or the service has stopped. But to feel the vibration of God at the core. To feel the vibration of truth and love at its highest. That is not contained in time or in space or in distance. Yes? You know, this has been a very tough 6, 7 months for Unity North. We have said goodbye to a number of people. A number of people that were very close. I was very close to. You were very close to. So many memorial services. So many goodbyes. Humanly, as a community, we are grieving. And that grief can feel like dissonance. A little bit. It hurts. And it hurts deeply. But we're also singing. We're also singing loudly. And we're allowing music to come forth. Singing of that eternal music of those who touched our life at depth. Who touched the planet at depths. And so I speak the name Harry Cohn today. And I speak the name Atiba Davis. And I speak the name Richard Clancy and Deanna Fleener. Celestine Martinez, all these beautiful people that we said goodbye to, we are celebrating the music that is eternal, the vibration of the oneness that we felt with them long after the concert has stopped, and they've moved on to higher dimensions. We feel them and we know them at depth because they touched our lives in such a deep way, just like the Blind Boys of Alabama. We're still listening. Long after the beautiful song that Sandy sang, it's still reverberating within us. And we have to listen for it. I'm saying listen to it, not on Sunday morning, but long after Sandy went back home and you go home, you're listening for something more profound than the human experience. That's our job. You know, it's always very strange to me that some of the kindest and most beautiful and powerful words that I've ever heard show up when somebody dies. Somebody passes, and we all show up at a memorial service, and we have all kinds of one. They were the most amazing human being. They were holy, they were sacred, and all these great things come out of our mouths and our hearts. And I ask the question, why does somebody have to die to do that? Why does somebody have to pass? Suddenly we say that which we didn't say, and I include in my memorial services that moment at the end. You know, when somebody passes, there are often words that were left unexpressed, emotions that went unsaid and unexpressed. Why is that? Why do we wait? Yes, that message is received when you say how wonderful they are, but I'm saying don't waste 1 minute speaking it now. Don't wait till somebody passes to speak it. Let them know here and now. Someone's gone, and now we tell everybody how beautiful their music was. Why in the world do we wait? Why do we wait? Call it out. Anybody, why do we wait? Fear of? What if my I love you is not reciprocated? What if I think you're amazing doesn't come back? So I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of being that vulnerable. You know, the world, there's a lot of hurt in the world, a lot of pain in the world, and so we don't speak I love you because we're afraid we cannot handle if it doesn't come back. And I'm saying I want to be among those that speak it regularly with no concern whether you love me back or not. If I only love those who love me back, then everything we stand on in this church is a waste of time. Just because somebody cannot see the truth does not mean that love cannot reach its target. Just because somebody doesn't reciprocate what I am doing in a, how can I serve today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? If I stop that song and that music, I stop the expression, I never get into an orchestra. I never get into a band, and I sit in a very lonely practice room wondering, why am I doing music? I just need to stop playing. Instead of asking, why do we wait? Which is a question most people are asking. Why do we wait? The question I want to ask is, who am I called to be? Who am I called to be to change the face of the planet? I need to stop playing the game and stop being silent and tell people around me how magnificent they are. Bill Coons, I'm looking at you right now. My brother, you have changed and altered my life in the most magnificent and positive ways. And I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm not going to wait till you pass to say that. Linda, you are a light in this world. And you're a quiet light that often gets overlooked. But your light has touched me at depth. I notice. I see the way you help the world become a better place. And I don't want to waste 1 second not telling you that. I want to be present to that which is urging and stirring and moving within me to act now and not wait till Linda's memorial service 100 years from now. No matter how big or small any one of us has deemed our light and our goodness and our love to be, we need to be recognized. There is the hierarchy of human needs. We need food, we need shelter, we need all that. But you know what we need more than anything? To know that we're making a difference. We need to know that. If there is one universal thing with all the people that come into this center and sit in my office, they need to know that they are worthy. They are valued. They are important. They are respected. And I notice. When I finally got that, my job became a heck of a lot easier. Because love is a heck of a lot easier than trying to find the right answers, trying to find the right words to inspire you. How about we just come together and we sit in the music of I am music, I am love, I am God, I am essence. Each one of us has a calling. Each one of us has a purpose, a direction, and a reason for being on the planet at this time. You are not an accident, and where you are living and expressing and experiencing is not an accident. It's a divine appointment. It ebbs. Your purpose for being is going to ebb, and it's going to flow. It's going to take detours, if you notice that. It will be covered up at times, and it will be forgotten at other times. But at the bottom of everything in your life, the fulfilling of that purpose is going to be your legacy on earth. Too many people are waiting around for the opportunity to live my purpose, to compounding at my door like a marching band, the big parade, the crashing cymbals. We're waiting around for the great announcement, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Let me tell you that the opportunity and the calling is an ever-present reality. You see, your calling is not a destination. Your purpose for being is not a destination. It's an ever-present reality. That's why most people miss it. I'm reminded of the story of the fish. There was the fish, and they used to get together at the bottom of the ocean, and they would pray about this great, amazing thing called water. And they would sing sacred chants about, Om water, Om water. And they would tell stories and fish lore about this amazing thing called water. And they would go on vision quests to the east and the west, the north, the south, up and down, looking for this amazing thing called water, but never quite finding it. The reason you miss your purpose and your calling and the music of your soul and the music of everybody around you is you're not tuning in and listening. The best bands, the best human race are the ones that stop and breathe and listen to the ever-present reality. Your reason for being is as close as the breath that you just took. Your reason for being is as close as the beat in your heart right this moment. So today I'm offering this congregation a challenge, and I'm inviting you to make it personal. I'm challenging you individually. Don't let that happen to you. Don't be a fish looking for that which is already in the field. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and it's been placed in your hands, and it's been placed in your mouth. And if you don't speak it, your purpose is dying on the other side. It's dying behind your teeth. If you don't have the guts and the courage to face your fears and let go of the worries, whether it's reciprocal or not, Ted Worrell, I love you. And anytime I get a chance, I'm going to tell people what an amazing man you are. And I'll tell them about the amazing woman behind the man, because Pat is even more wonderful than you. Don't let it happen to anybody in your circle of influence that you are waiting for a memorial service to say, I love you, I appreciate you. Call the music out. May your legacy and your mark on this world be one of recognizing, demonstrating, and sharing the music of all creation. Does that sound familiar to you? I hope it is. Recognizing, demonstrating, and sharing the divinity of each of us. That's the reason we exist. That's the reason this church has said it exists. That's our mission statement. I don't know if we have the slide or not. Recognizing, demonstrating, and sharing the divinity of all of us. Ours. Go ahead and read it together. Recognize, demonstrate, and share the divinity of each of us. I am music, you are music. We are music. Don't take that lightly. That's God in expression. That's light in expression. And ours is to leave a trail of good in our wake in such a way that no tombstone will ever say they waited too long. The parade never showed up. The clanging cymbals were never there. He lost an opportunity. No, let my tombstone say he never lost an opportunity to tell somebody they mattered. He never lost an opportunity to say, I love you. I appreciate you. You are amazing. You make a difference. Call out right now. I want you to call out the name of somebody, and I want you to say their name and then fill in the blank, you are amazing. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You know, you can't help but bless somebody, but then also be benefited from it, because the music is the one song, the one note that's there. When you say you are amazing, there is a reciprocal giving. When you say I love you, there's more love in your universe. It's by spiritual law. When you are giving it out, it is coming back to you. It may not come in the form of that person reciprocating the love for you, but it's going to come from somewhere, because God is connected everywhere. It will come to you. But didn't it feel good? You can't bless somebody without being blessed yourself. Call another name out and say, you are amazing. Go. That feels good. Now I want you to call your name out and do the same thing. Your own name out, but I want you to say it as if you are proud of the music and the calling and the vision and the purpose for which you have been born. Say your own name and fill in the blank. Go. Oh my God, you're also egotistical. If you're going around and not claiming your value and your worth and your music and your power because you're so afraid that somebody might think you're egotistical, get over it. God is doing business as you. How dare you play small? How dare you stifle what God is wanting to express for you because you are afraid? Love and fear, which one are you going to take on? Purpose and reason and dedication and vision, or comfort and safety? My whole life has been one exercise after another of stepping out of my comfort zone. It took me 25 years to say the words, I love you, to anybody in my house. Now I say it freely. And it comes from a place of vibration that, like the Blind Boys of Alabama, I'm carrying it with me in the car when I think of you. Gene, when I think of you, love vibrates inside of me. So if I've missed an opportunity to tell you I love you, shame on me. And whether you say it back, I hope you do, though, is not important. All the masters of the world, all the great sages and prophets, we have over-intellectualized religion. We have over-intellectualized spirituality. All the masters who ever walked the face of the earth did one thing. They didn't wait. They didn't wait to reach out and to encourage, to support, to call out and to call up and uplift those who took the time to listen. We're in this room because we want to be in a band and an orchestra, and we want to listen to each other and know that the music of the cello is more because of the music of the oboe. And the music of the clarinet is more because that beautiful tuba is holding the foundation underneath. I want to follow the example of the master teachers. Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, you name them. They didn't wait around and then die with their music still in them. And in doing so, we have to resist the ego's need to compare ourselves to anyone. You ever do that? Well, they've got a big light. That big light is shining, but this little light of mine, he said, don't hide it under a bushel. Go put it on the hill. Go put it on a hill and say, Dr. Eugene Kirkpatrick, I love you. And I am so incredibly grateful that our paths have crossed, because I'm forever a better person as a result of that meeting. How often do we say those words? Our egos are going to have to come face to face with the places in our lives where so many songs have been lost because we've lived in the energy of greater than and less than. The great people, the mediocre people, the average people. Nobody here is average. God doesn't make average people. The notes of every symphony, you take one note out, the symphony is not complete. You take one note out of the piece of music. How would it be if Sandy had gotten up here and said, I am you? It's not complete. Maybe the part that you're playing you've labeled as sick. Sick, my part is sick. Yeah, sick is needed. I am you, sick. The reality is every note is necessary. And if you have claimed that your note is not as great or as wonderful as somebody else's note, you're playing small. You're not living in the magnificence of what God would do through you and as you. You may not find the cure for cancer. You may not write the next big Hollywood blockbuster. You may not be the next Mother Teresa. So what? So what? Let your legacy be one of kind words that no one will ever, ever repeat except the one whose life was forever changed with your willingness to say it. Nobody will ever repeat or quote you from any platform or podium except the one person at the altar of their own heart that said, I once was lost, but now I'm found, and I'm so grateful that Marie found me. And then tell her, you found me, and I found you, and we're both better for the exercise. I don't care how many people are talking about you. I care more that you have your own private conversation in the sacred moments in the closet, as the master teacher would put it, of knowing that when your time comes and there's a memorial service for you, that you left your mark on the heart of a child who knew they were loved beyond measure. A child that knew that they were beautiful and worthy and needed and important and holy. And you noticed. And for the record, children often come in 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old skin suits. There's a lot of people walking the planet today that are putting out bad behaviors because nobody said when they were 10, 20, or 30, you're loved and you make a difference. I look at the healing that's needed on the planet today. I think, as simple as it is, it's telling somebody before they're on their deathbed that you love them. It's not waiting for a memorial service to get up and take all the minister's time to go on for 25 minutes saying, oh my gosh, you got to fill it in because there's guilt. You didn't say it when they were 10 and they were 20. This is not necessarily a huge thing. Evolution is not a huge thing, and we've made it so huge. Not a thing where the world is going to cheer you on, yes, we're cheering you on to valorous deeds. The song said it. The poem said it. Yes, that may be a moment, but it's the quiet, still moments. No one's going to write books about you maybe and name a national holiday after you, Grant Goodwin. Although I bet your wife would say you deserve one. And again, the woman behind the man, I think she deserves one too. Some get that. Good on the ones that get books written about them. National holiday. I'm going to invite the band to come back up. That's external validation for the music that those people brought to the planet, and good on them. Let's celebrate the heroes that dot the landscape of our human history. Many of us will only ever get the internal validation of those private moments where someone's life was forever changed in a positive way through your willingness, nobody else's, to plant a seed of kindness that reminded, a seed of kindness that healed, that touched and awakened the music of just one person. That one person may be sitting right next to you right now. And I'm going to be really bold and go on a limb here. Let today and tomorrow and every tomorrow hereafter be the day that you play the role of Savior. I don't know if you can read that. Can you read that? It's too small where I'm looking, so I'm going to look here. Let's read it today. Let today and tomorrow and every tomorrow hereafter be the day that you play the role of Savior to someone who has forgotten their music. The religious world is waiting around for somebody to take responsibility. Send somebody. Send Jesus. Send the Christ. Send Buddha. And God's responding, I did send somebody. I sent Jean. I sent Grant Goodwin, Natalie Goodwin. I sent even Michael March. I sent somebody and they're wearing your skin. Stop waiting around for somebody else to save the world, to heal the leper, the lonely, the depressed, the child that is about to go off the deep end, off the cliff, because nobody told them that they loved them. And then at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, get up and look in the mirror and tell them. Look in the mirror and tell them with pride. Yes, humility, but an awareness that you are far more than your personality. You are far more than your day-to-day relationships. God is looking for a deeper relationship. Music is calling for a deeper relationship. The only Bible some people will ever read will be your life. Say that with me. The only Bible some people will ever read will be your life. Let it be a glorious read. Let it be a symphony of dropping seeds unapologetically. No excuses. Just be you, even in your introversion. I am a raging introvert, yet I can stand up here and say, I love you, Cheryl. I love you, Mary, Laura, Chris, Bridget, Marilyn. I love you, and you have all made an impact on my life that I will forever cherish, and I won't waste 1 second waiting for you to die to tell you that. 100 people are watching you. Sometimes we think, oh, it's a private little moment, nobody's paying attention. But there's 100 people that are watching you. When you do that small little act of kindness in the corner of the room, when you let somebody know you're there with them and you're picking them off the floor, we're in this together, you make a difference. Your song needs to be heard. There's 100 people that you will never meet watching you. There's 100 people that you will never have a conversation with that are watching you. What are you doing when nobody's looking and nobody's writing a book? And maybe when the time comes and we're celebrating your life, your eternal life on this platform, those 100 people will show up and speak. But I don't want to wait till then. If you see it, go over and call it out. If you see the good and the love, call it out. That's what's going to heal the planet and the division that we know today. Not more theology, not more doctrine, not more intellectualizing. It's just being kind.